On 17th September 1961, Turkish Prime Minister Adnan Menderes was executed after he made revolutionary reforms, reversing many of Ataturk's anti-Islamic policies and taking a hostile stance against Israel. Adnan Menderes was born in the region of Adana into a wealthy land-owning family in the late Ottoman period. Adnan was known for his generosity, and he later gave away most of his land to poor villagers. During his youth, Adnan Menderes became involved in politics and joined the Republican People's Party, founded by Ataturk. However, he was eventually dismissed from the party due to his vocal opposition to the Prime Minister's exploitation of small farmers. In 1945, Adnan Menderes founded his own party, known as the Democratic Party, and he was eventually elected as the Prime Minister of Turkey in 1950. After coming to power, Prime Minister Adnan reversed many of Ataturk's anti-Islamic reforms, such as the banning of the call to prayer and the removal of religious education from the curriculum. He also reopened many mosques that were previously closed down by Ataturk and used as places to store grain, and he lifted the ban on Islamic newspapers and radio stations. He stated, "Turkey is a Muslim country and will remain so." Prime Minister Adnan also released many political prisoners that were jailed by Ataturk, and he allowed many opponents of the previous regime to return from exile, such as the Islamic scholar known as Sayyid Nursi, who had previously been exiled by Ataturk. Prime Minister Adnan also provided housing for poor citizens moving from the Anatolian countryside to the industrial centers in major cities. The large landowners in Anatolia and the wealthy elite in Istanbul were angry with Prime Minister Adnan because of his economic policies, which expanded industry and made them lose their control over Turkish markets. Besides his revolutionary internal policies, Prime Minister Adnan also stood up to the tyrannical powers who were trying to control Turkey's foreign policy. Prime Minister Adnan ended Turkey's relations with Israel and called the Turkish ambassador to Israel back to Istanbul in 1956. He supported the Palestinian cause and imposed a ban on the import of all products manufactured in Israel. The pro-Islamic and anti-Zionist policies of Prime Minister Adnan angered Western powers and the Turkish elite. Therefore, on 27th May 1960, the Turkish army forcefully removed Adnan Menderes from power, and he was executed before the general elections were held in 1961. After executing him, the army expelled all members of his party from the government. Because Prime Minister Adnan was loved throughout all sections of Turkish society, the Turkish army also forced about 3,000 army officers who were suspected of supporting him to resign. The Turkish army also dismissed more than 1,400 university professors from their jobs and forced more than 500 judges to retire.